but it's just not supported by the data. And I'm just kind of a science girl, you know, like if there's no data, I can't like level with that argument.
The death throes, hopefully, of a kind of new liberal psychosis that is afflicting many members of the left.
If everyone had just agreed and we'd moved on, maybe we wouldn't be addressing the very scary and real spike in.
In Maryland, the father of a high school student charged with raping a 14-year-old girl in a school restroom was arrested by ICE agents after finding he was living in the United States illegally.
Stats are so fucking stupid. You know, not that they're stupid, it's the way people apply them. You already have your mind made up, and then you go to I'mRight.com, you start memorizing a bunch of shit, and then just throw it up at people.
I default to not doubting people who have survived violent crimes.
Most of what Laci bases her opinions on is anecdotal evidence, which you can tell is true by the amount of times she said.
And as someone who has worked with survivors, I've worked on a lot of cases. Like literally over 1,000 cases, all right?
She even admits her bias, and yet she claims to be scientific. If you are looking for studies to prove you were right, you will. This isn't a subject matter that we can reasonably assess through any study, as you demonstrate by saying.
In the case of sexual assault, I think that the dynamics are different than like making claims about, you know, climate change or Christianity or whatever. I think it's very different. And the circumstances in which someone comes forward to talk about that are very different. For better or for worse. Like, you know, it's just has much more complexity than a lot of the conversations that we have. And
more complex? Absolutely not. Maybe I need clarification, but if anything, they are equally complex. Yes, it is hard to get the right evidence and to prosecute and reform the justice system, but those issues have similar problems to handle. I don't see complexity in your approach. You assume they're right and ignore Blaire when she rightly points out that you are not just assuming that the person is a victim, you are also assuming someone else's guilt. And if you know both parties, that complicates things. It makes it much harder to pick a side. The feminist narrative pushes people to vilify the men in those scenarios, and to assume that the woman is telling the truth. I have met plenty of women that will do things like faking abuse or things like it to manipulate people into taking their side. Yes, women tend to be less violent than men, but the flip side is that they are more prone to manipulate. If I'm going to pick an issue regarding rape, well, you brought up one, which is very important, which is about actually getting the rape kits done, things like that. So that's definitely one of them. But I personally would like to draw attention to one that rarely gets talked about, which is how bad it is in the military. I mean, if you want to talk about where there's an actual epidemic, there's one place. And I agree, fraternities, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Shut them bitches down, I don't care. I think they're a bunch of fucking dickheads. And yeah, I'm not surprised that that's an issue there too. But you know, people talk about that, so it's definitely something to look into. I mean, like I said, I don't care, shut them down. Military can't shut that down. So I'm not sure what the solution is to that one, but it would be nice to hear about it. Something to look into.
My second page, a biophysicist at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, created a Twitter hashtag #BlackInStem page was asked to join the marches for in February after she tweeted criticism of his approach to diversity. But I do feel comfortable saying to you what I said to the steering committee. He is a white male, and in that way, he does represent the status quo of science, where it is to be a scientist. Having Hannah Tisha and Villa Komarov, she said, was an opportunity to put up a picture of a science that did not just fit the white male.
No, not
Europeans, they're
Europeans.
over there.